What's going on in this video? I'm going to break down a DM flow you can use on Instagram and X to just book a ton of appointments for your agency. This stuff is working right now. I used it to book 30 appointments last month, so let's just get straight into it. First thing I want to cover is that the minimum appointment booking rate that you want to be getting on this system is 1%. So if you set 100 openers, which I'm about to go over how all that works, if you send 100 openers, you want to at least book one appointment. So word of note, it is going to take iteration, testing. You have to track all your metrics to actually make sure that each step is converting properly, and that overall you're getting a minimum of 1% appointment booking rate. Otherwise, it's probably not worth it. So the first thing is the opener. So the flow is opener. Then you're going to send a permission to send a VSL to then send a Calendly. So the reason an opener is there before you just do a normal opener where you explain a bit of your service and then you just do a low commitment CTA is you want to get out of message requests essentially. There's a huge problem on X and Instagram right now. People are using a lot of automations, so you kind of just have to concede and use the automations as well to send just a ton of openers per day, upwards of 1,000. You can get this to work from one account. If you can, for example, on X, you can send around 100 to 300 messages from one account per day. So if you've got a 1% appointment booking rate, you can book 1 to 2, 3 appointments per day. It's going to be even better the more accounts that you have. But yeah, you essentially want to get out of the message request, but there's a very specific way to do this, because if you're just pitching in the DM, in the request folder, you're immediately bucketed into just the no-go zone by every single business owner you're reaching out to, whether your niche is agencies, coaches, consultants, anything, really, because they're all getting pitched, and so it's all just bucketed into one thing. So the way I found a way to actually send an opener that first gets a reply, to basic reply, so then I can then initiate with a pitch. So essentially there's some commitment and consistency going on where they've replied to me, and so now they're more inclined to keep replying and then booking a call after that. So what you want to do with your opener, this is very related to your niche, and you have to keep that in mind, but you need scalable personalization. So you will be automating this whole thing, but you want it to seem like it could have been personalized. Very short, it's max 1-2 sentences. You want to ask a binary question. Now the reason for this is it's a psychological kind of thing where it's a reasoning, respecting thing where you're asking a question that might come off as though you're not going to pitch them. But if you were to pitch them, it's not bait and switch. So they're not going to get pissed off if you pitch them. But if you do, it's cool because it's not bait and switch. So you want to give a reason for asking. It's not pitching. You want it to, it's designed to get yes, no, or either or reply. So for an example, you can copy this stuff, but it's not really going to work over time. And if it does, it will run out and you'll just never consistently book appointments on these platforms if you're copying other people, because the more that happens, the more that the script will just saturate, and prospects will know what you're doing. So just came across your profile after scrolling for a while. Was curious if you're focusing on outreach or content to book calls. So with this one, it's kind of they could think that you're going to try and pitch them, but it's some genuine curiosity, whether you're focusing on outreach or content, because if you're reaching out to them and you're also someone that could be focusing on content or outreach, they might think that you're actually genuinely wanting some advice about what to do. So it's bait and switch internally on your side. You're doing it to pitch, but I don't see a problem with that, because as long as you're trying to help people and you're trying to book calls with them and just grow your business and get clients and then actually have a good service, nothing wrong with that. So when they reply to this, they'll either go yes, no, or yes, why, or they'll pick one of them. So they say outreach. And so then you just immediately, because you're out of message request, now you can just pitch. So the way the pitch works best on Instagram and X is you send actually a video of yourself, and it's non-evergreen. What you do is a maximum of 20 seconds, shouldn't be any longer than this. Ask a no-brainer question that resonates with the market. So are you open to hearing some new strategies to book calls? So I'm in the agency niche, so that kind of question could work for me. If you're in, if you're a growth operator doing building the back end for these big following, big audiences, you always just want to resonate with the market and actually think about what they're going to be receptive to. Wondering if you're looking for some new strategies to convert your audience and your existing audience. It's very specific to the niche, and this is obviously something you have to think about, and that's why I'm not just giving a bunch of scripts, because if you don't think about it, you'll just lose. So you ask for permission to pitch as well. So this is essentially disarming them. This still works. There was a period where it kind of didn't work, but now it just definitely works, because you're essentially giving them perceived control and you're not forcing it down their throat. So we'll only send it over if you actually care, so just let me know. So you can even add humor to this. This is the other thing, just overall with outreach. If you can add humor and a complete pattern interrupt somewhere, you almost always bump up your reply rates. So that's another thing. The last bit about this is the low commitment CTA. So you want to essentially get them to view your VSL, so then they can book a call. But with actually doing that, you have to do it in a way that doesn't seem, again, needy, and it needs to be low commitment. So like, just ask them to send a thumbs up and you'll send the VSL. The whole thing of this has to be delivery. Like, if you don't sound confident, if you sound like all unsure, and if you don't know your script that well, it's never going to convert well. But then if they positively reply to this, you've obviously got the VSL. So here you want to essentially, because they've already committed so much, now you can just break down your offer. So you can break down the guarantee, the risk reversal, your positioning is like literally the most important thing. So if you sound like everyone else, if you have the same offer, you say it in the same way, you say the same pattern interrupts, you say you're just finished. Like, it's probably more important than the offer. How you sound and like that it could actually be a new opportunity is the most important thing. So for example, I'm helping agency owners, and I frame like my method of doing it as helping them sign hybrid clients, because we help like our clients generate clients themselves through inbound and outbound strategy. So I essentially named it like hybrid clients. So I've seen other people do this in other ways, like some guy I've seen on Twitter, like enterprise clients, which is like clients that pay you a lot. So it's just small things that like we're all selling the same thing kind of. So the best product wins, that's a separate story, but to actually get to the point where you can book calls with these people, you have to sound different to everyone else. So you want to break down the system at high level. Do not like go into everything about your service. Like, if you do Facebook ads, I've mentioned this before, but if you do Facebook ads, don't talk about Facebook ads. It's just a click run conditioning. They've bought from someone that said Facebook ads, got burned, and now they don't want to see that again. To break down everything at a high level so you can actually keep curiosity high. CTA, then you just send a CTA for a calendar link, and this is like maximum 120 seconds, so maximum of 2 minutes. Again, clarity, conviction, like the way you're gonna have to like spend some time making a script and actually thinking about how to write this for a while, because like if you sound scripted, you're done for. So this is all designed to get you to book the call, and so once you book the call, they obviously fill in the Calendly form, and that's that. And so you can just continue doing this. The most important thing is actually iterate on this. Like, I could use scripts and like examples that I've used for like permission and VSL, but like you actually have to think about this, otherwise you're just gonna lose. And like, I know that's not the shiny thing, and like, but like if everyone would just give scripts, like I fell prey to this kind of where I would just go to the gurus, see what scripts they were using, and then like I would just quit because I'd use the scripts and hundreds of outreach and wonder why it didn't work when everyone's just getting blasted with that. But right now, like, I'm booking calls at a rate way above 1%, but this is scalable with 1% ABR because you can just get more accounts. So get to 1% ABR with this and just think. Like, that's the most important thing. And as long as you've got decent quality leads, I might make a video about like sourcing leads at a very high level with like X and Instagram. For most niches, it works for like agencies, coaches, and consultants, pretty much any niche. And I use AI for that, so I might make a video about that. I do think I've got one that covers that a bit, so if you want to check that out, it will be on my channel page. But other than that, if you want any other videos at all about like booking appointments, closing sales, just like put something in the comments and I'll see if I can make a video about it. Other than that, see you guys. Cheers.